I've been arrested for practically nothing. One time I'm drinking at home. Me and the girlfriend was getting wasted. We was on about the second week, drinking a bunch of half gallons and shit, and we and she was in the kitchen, and next thing I know, she fell flat on her face. You know what I mean? And she has seizures, so I thought she was having a seizure. So I had called 911, and the ambulance came, whatnot, and the police were here too. And the police were like, you can't go in the ambulance. I was like, well, why not? I'm gonna go with her. You know what I mean? And I was arguing with about it, and one police officer was like, "I'll take you." And I looked up, and there was like probably about a quarter of a fifth left, and I was like, "Man, if I go down there with her, you know what I mean? I'm probably gonna be hurting in a couple hours." So I took that fifth and I guzzled it right down. Goop, 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 guzzled it right down, slammed it down, was like, all right, you can take me down there. You know what I mean? But I'll let you know. But what the funny story is I was there the night before because I was trying to quit drinking. And they said, yeah, there's nothing wrong with you. Just go home and chill, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to get you a cab. And the cab will be here in about an hour. So I had to wait out front for an hour. And the cab didn't really ever show up. But I was going in, and by this time it's late. I was wasted, and I'm coming down. Everything's blurry, and I'm asking the receptionist, could they dial the number for me because I can't see. My eyes are just too bloodshot and blurry. I can't see the numbers on the phone to dial the numbers, and they're like, "No, we can't help you." And so I get by the door, and then I go back outside, and I'm going in and out. Finally, security comes outside while I'm outside pacing. He says, "Get the hell out of here." I was like, "What do you mean, get out of here?" I'm waiting on a cab. He said, "Not anymore. You ain't. They want you gone. Get out of here." I'm like, "Really?" So I had to walk all the way home. And it was cold as hell out. It was like fall, and just a damn a white beater, man. I froze my ass off. And Beth, she got out probably the next morning. She like took a left when should have took a right. Her ass had to walk home too. And she had walked almost all the way out of town before she realized where the fuck she was at. It took her like 3 hours to get home. And so long story short, we're back in it again. And she falls, starts having a seizure. I call the police. The police, this is like the same day, basically. The police take me to the hospital, and I tell them the story. I was like, "Yeah, I got kicked out of here last night, for drinking blah 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 whatever." So he's like, "Just go in there and sit down, and wait till they call you and call you back." So I'm sitting there waiting, and it's during COVID, and I got my mask on, and I'm drunk as shit. You know what I mean? I was so drunk they wouldn't even allow me in the jail when they did arrest me, but I kept pulling my mask down and breathing like this, and then I'd put it back up. And every time this lady at the desk, she was just eye fucking man bad. You know what I mean? And so what had happened was when he dropped me off, he went and told her, hey, if he gives you any trouble, blah blah blah. And I swear, on the police report, it said about a minute goes by, right? The security guard comes in and he says, "Look, they don't want you back there. You need to leave." I was like, "What the fuck? I just sat down. How are you gonna, I ain't doing nothing to nobody. I just want to see if because last I knew she was unconscious on the floor. You know what I mean? I don't even know if she's all right or if she's dead or what." And he's like, "She's sat up. She's most likely fine. You ain't got to worry about it. You got to get out of here." And I turned around, and as I turned around, the police was standing there, and I said jokingly to him, "Thank God you're here, so you can hold me back, so I don't beat the shit out of this guy." And he says, "Put your hands behind your back." I said, "What?" I ain't put my hand behind me. "Put your hands behind your back." I'm like, "For what? What the fuck did I do?" You know what I mean? So he arrests me. I go to jail. I have the worst fucking come down of my life in jail. They keep me for like 5 days up in the tank. Oh my God. Have you ever been to jail and you know what it's like to be in a drunk tank for 5 days? Everything hurts, man. And especially you're sick. I mean, they had to transport me to the hospital once, because I was going through it bad. And this was just one of the most fucked up things I've ever experienced. Anyway,